Okay. Alright. I look a little bit like a crazy person, but that's because I'm tired and it's late. Okay. That's all there is to it. I'm not usually. I mean, I am a little crazy. Let's just accept it. Let's just go with it. Okay. It's fine. It's fine. At least this is the last day before I need to wash my hair, and it still looks kind of cute. So we're gonna take that as a win and just squeeze it for all it's worth. Whatever. Okay, so I've been procrastinating on this video because I've been scared, but whatever, I'm gonna do it. Fear will not conquer me or whatever. So let's just do it. So last video we were talking about Daucus Carota and how, according to this little app that I found, is supposed to mean purity and wisdom. And I was saying how I could see the connection, but that I actually felt that this flower had more connection with fertility and motherhood than it has with purity and wisdom. Because I felt like the connections to purity and wisdom were more like white means purity, so therefore a white flower can also mean or invoke this thing, right? I didn't feel like it was a specific characteristic of the flower itself, more of like, oh, there are meanings that can be connected to something of this flower. So, there wasn't really a history of like, oh, maybe maybe the idea that eating carrots is supposed to help you like be smarter or something, but there wasn't a myth or anything that I felt like I was like, oh, okay, I can see it. I feel like there's a stronger connection with motherhood and fertility. Now I divided this video in two parts: the positive connections to it and the negative connections to it. So let's just start with the positive. And give me a moment, okay? I'm just nervous. I even wrote it down so I wouldn't ramble. And then, obviously, I rambled. Because you know what? Let's just embrace it. I ramble. It's something that I do. It is the whole name of the channel is Cat Rambles because I do not shut up. So let's just accept that. Just go with it. Okay, so I think one of the connections with fertility itself is the idea that this flower is considered, or not just the flower, but the plant itself is considered an aphrodisiac. And in that consideration of the flower and as aphrodisiac, it is connected with physical love, lust, and conception. Now, when it comes to physical love, it's interesting because this flower is apparently used in little rituals and things. Not rituals themselves, but it's like traditional like natural medicine. Hmm? So it's used in that way in connection with fertility. So for example, there is this idea that this flower helps with conception. So women would, or in an attempt to get pregnant, or because they believe that this plant will help you get pregnant, the idea was you would put this flower inside of a little pink sachet and then just carry it around with you until you were 100% sure that you were pregnant, and it was supposed to increase your chances of pregnancy, so increase your own fertility. And I believe this has to do with the simple, noticing a characteristic of something and trying to bring it to your life. So this plant is, for starters, it's a plant that kind of just spreads pretty easily. And it's one of the reasons why in places where it's not native and has shown up for one reason or another, it can be considered a pest, because it just keeps spreading, and it might damage the natural environment. But it's also used, and not only that, but it's also used as a companion plant in places where it's, more welcome, because it attracts pollinators. So then you would have this plant nearby your, I don't know, tomato plants, for in this example, in an effort to get more tomatoes, because you would have more pollinators, and so more tomatoes. And I believe that in a time where you didn't have a more clear understanding of how these things worked, like you would, I mean, there was understanding of it, but some of it was, let's say, less studied as it is today, or studied in different ways, let's call it that way. So they would notice that this plant is in being close to their own plants, is making sure that they have more plants, so they will encourage this plant to be near their own plants. Then it would be kind of easy, I guess, to believe, okay, so if it's helping my plants to get me more tomatoes, then it might help me get with child, if that's what I want. So it was bringing the characteristic of something and translating it to help you instead of just the plants. I'm not explaining that well, okay, but I hope that that's been clarified. Um, Now it's more popularly known. I mean, I got to know it as the wild carrot, but it's more popularly known as the Queen Anne's lace, and it's what I've been calling it most of the time here. And the other connection I made with motherhood there is just in that name, the Queen Anne's lace, because queens, by virtue of the job description, needed to be mothers. The entire, or not the entire point, because there were alliances and stuff, but a very important job of a queen was to produce an heir, and then more children after. And the more children a queen would have, the more secure the line of succession would be, because in that time where people were dying quite easily, just having an heir could still give you a crisis of succession in the next generation. So it was an important thing for the queen not only to be a mother, but to be fertile, I think. So in that sense, I see the connection of the name with the aspect of motherhood, and fertility maybe a little less underlined, but still interesting, I think. The idea of this flower connected to physical love and beauty is also interesting, because you have the idea of, lace that was getting a little popularized, and the delicate aspect of it, and the or and not the aspect, that's a wrong translation, the delicate look of it. Aspecto quería decir. the delicate look of it, and that also conforms a little bit with, or it does conform with the beauty standards of the time, right? You were supposed, as a woman, you were supposed to be subservient and delicate. And I think we can all agree lace is kind of cute. And yeah, there's this connection of this flower being considered a beautiful flower, and that mixed with the idea that the with the yeah, And that mixed with the idea that the queen anne's lace is aphrodisiac results in the use of this flower also with the intention of attracting lust or physical love. So there was this whole idea of like putting these flowers in baths and then bathing in this water, and that will make you more attractive, more interesting to your target audience, to whoever it is that you were kind of hoping to catch the eye of. So that was something that I found interesting, and that I also think, okay, it might have a little bit to do with it. Oh, I notice a characteristic of it, and I want it also for myself, so I'm just gonna try to absorb it a little by osmosis or something. I thought the idea is cute, you know. It feels a little bit like something like teenagers will do, you know, like, or high school things you do when you have like a little crush and you want this guy to, you know, pay attention to you, so you find this little thing on Google and do it with your friends. I wouldn't know, I didn't have friends. Okay, so yeah, in a little more separate side is the idea that it's a wildflower. And so, as I said in the last video, oh my god, it's the lighting, I swear to god I don't look that tired. um okay, it's the idea of the wildflower that is connected also to spring, and with spring is the idea of new life both for flowers and plants, so it's fertility, you know, motherhood or parenthood, because it's, you know, you need both to create the baby. Well, with the bird's nest, I think that's a little more far-fetched. It's just, okay, burn, parenthood, and safe environment. I don't really think it's worth mentioning it, but I wrote it down, so I said it. Now, oh look, I'm rambling less. I think the other one was like 25 or 30 minutes long, and most of it was me just rambling. And now we're just 12 minutes like in, and we're almost done, so I'm doing better. Okay, so let's go to the negative connections, right? The interesting thing about this flower is that, despite the fact that it's considered an aphrodisiac, I found that the seeds were used as an abortifacient. So it wasn't so much a let me take let me take this to avoid pregnancy, and more like let me take it so the pregnancy will not go no further. Or I don't know if they understood the difference, but this is apparently a natural medicine abortifacient. Um, abort. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it like right. Okay, in my own language I can barely pronounce words, so it does induces abortion. So it's recommended to women to like don't partake in this disease if you want to keep your baby. I don't know how to. I don't know how to say that. it's it's awkward. This is awkward. Let's just move. Let's just move on. Um, and there, yeah. So there's this connection with this plant with avoiding pregnancy, or like avoiding the continuation of pregnancy, and in that there's the connection of the loss of children that is a little bit underlying with the fact that one of the two queens that is connected to this plant, the Queen Anne II, had 18 pregnancies, of which only one child survived. So it can symbolize, I found, the loss of children. And yeah, which is so sad. Can you imagine 18 pregnancies? I cannot deal with sad things, okay? I cannot deal with them. I don't know what to do or what to say. I'm very awkward. So I'm just gonna say, okay, it's connected to the loss of children through this. I have said it very awkwardly. Let us move on. Um, it has two interesting names on the negative side. The first one is Devil's Plague, which comes from the myth or the belief that if you cut this flower and bring it into your house, your mom will die. Um, I think this myth may come from the fact that, as I said in the last video, this is a flower that looks very similar to the flower of two poisonous plants, for example, the poison hemlock. So it might be that because it reproduces so quickly, people were more familiar with the queen and slays, and sometimes will bring poison hemlock into their house as a mistake and then give it to their moms, or just keep it in the house. And given gender roles, the one that would be inside the house more would be the women, and taking care of things would be the woman. So she would probably have a higher chance of dying by poisoning with this flower that wasn't really queen and slays, but looked like it. That being said, it's a very badass name, Devil's Plague. And such a delicate flower with a name like that, right? Um, the other name is Break Mother's Heart, which is just too long. Okay, that too long for a flower. Okay, that's my personal opinion. You do you. But that is a little less tetrico. It's a little less mean, and it comes from the fact that this is a flower that dries very fast. So again, gender roles at the time, because we're talking Victorian era, and by now, and you will bring, you will collect a few of these flowers, bring a little bouquet for your mom. She will be all excited, like, oh, thank you, it's so cute. Put it on the table or something to decorate the living room or the kitchen or whatever it is that she puts it. By the next day, all these tiny little white flowers inside because it's you're calling it like one big flower, but in reality it's like a bunch of tiny white flowers and um, a red one. All of them would be dried by the next day. And if you brought a bouquet of it, it's just a cloud of dried flowers that now she needs to pick up. So it comes from that, the idea that it dries quickly and would create a mess for your mom to clean up. So she wouldn't even get to enjoy it for a very long. Yeah, that's it. That's all I have to say. I have been scared all day of making this video. It's currently 3:30 a.m. I procrastinated an entire day. It took me 20 minutes to record this, and most of it is me rambling. And now I feel like an idiot because I could have finished this so quickly. And I couldn't have this. Oh my god. I wouldn't have them if I have done them sooner. But on the right side, very cool poncho, like jacket that my mom gave me. Very cute, we love it. My hair, look at it. Still some recognizable waves. In the last day, there's volume. So yeah, positives. Positives all around. And I finished the video. Some more positives. Okay, I don't know how to finish this. Give me a like. I did this, okay? I'm proud of myself. Just give me a like. Okay, give me a like. It make my day. And yeah, that's all I have to say. That's all I have to say for myself. Okay, bye.